Ebe mulunze moze kene kwa mono. Mbasi nke tata biko na kisi enweta video ya semi homa ya mele ọbụna yes aya natakwago ọzọ mago n'ihe agbago gbada na nwe felu gbaga na efelu gbadata na ọ na-agwụ nwoke ike asị na ya batagwụgwọ ka ebe bịata igbo ọnụ na some of the things anyị na-eti ọnụ na ya. So asị m onye ọbụla biko sit close and also watch this video because this guy is beginning to look like one of the imago onye Hausa ishidetu mma na Nigeria. Onye Hausa ishidetu mma na Nigeria. Nego on this video gonna know ihe ọ na-ekwu about the past and the present of Nigeria today. And because in our watch video ya ti sense again na table because na a lot of things is going to unfold in this video. God one.
Based on the feedbacks I've received so far, I think my instinct was right in regards my opinion about cessationists. Since when I was talking about the excesses of the North, I no use sugar cover. I will not use sugar to cover this one again. Just like I said, my instinct was right. And what got me to this point? I get to discover something in all the comments and share. Like, for example, when you talk about, oh, there's cheating in the police, this person is cheated, or this need to review this aspect of this, whatever, in the spirit of growth, or pleading to the government of the day, please, you need to look into this. You get to see the cessationists are usually absent in that kind of comment. They are absent in the comment section. They are absent in the sharing. Why? Because that is not their aim. This is what brings engagement now. What brings engagement is when you say, oh, the North has unaliving so number of people, or this and that, or this other part. You say yes. So this is how a cessationist thinks now. You feed a cessation. When you feed a cessationist that kind of narrative, he doesn't take it with the basis that he doesn't approach it on the basis of this is a problem that requires solution. He just uses it to reaffirm his stand in regards to the fact that this is why I tell you we must go. It doesn't. This is why we must go. It can never work. It can never work. That is what I get to discover, and that was what informed my last video. And seriously, I was right. And just like you can see, while I must commend the good Easterners that actually see sense in what I was saying. And seriously, it was quite commendable. But seriously, not disappointment, rather, because it's what I expected. For the cessationists that actually just want me to be feeding them that, well, I will disappoint you. Because the fact is, if I must tell you the truth sincerely, we are all that is required to achieve the nation of our desire. Not on the basis of the existing reality or the existing system, probably an overhaul or a change of the system as it favors people. Because take it or leave it, the productive regions are tired of carrying liability of non-productive regions or productive states. That is a natural phenomenon. On that basis now, we can actually say, okay, let's think about a system that would ensure that everybody is up and doing. All in the spirit of having a good nation, right? But by the time you come, you show that you are James Bond, you are almighty, you are better than everybody, or whatever. The last time I checked, the statistics even prove otherwise, right? And the funny thing I get to see is the fact that a lot of people come to say, they are so point, they are unalive a so number of us who will never forgive, who will never forget. Tell me one person that Nigeria has been fair to him, sincerely. But the fact is, just like I said, we are all that is required to change the narrative, to change the status quo of the present reality. And how do we do that? When we individualize some of these issues, when we take it personal, like this is our nation, we must stand and kick against that which is bad. Then we can achieve that. But at a point in time, at any point in time, everybody is holding on to his own evil. not wanting his own evil to come to the public domain, but rather capitalizing on other people's evil, then you will now tell me if you are a saint. Seriously. And if I must tell you the truth, a cessationist is nothing but a liability to any nation. Seriously. A liability to any nation. Because of a truth, the system is not conducive, it's not habitable to everybody, and of which is our collective responsibility. By being responsible, accountable, and knowing that this is the only nation we have, and no matter what it is that is required to change it, we will change it. And when we talk about cessation, it's funny when I hear people talking about you go divide, we must go. To some certain extent, I get to see that the proponents of this don't even know what cessation is. Because if you know what cessation is all about, you will know that you are doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I'm telling you. And why do I say this? Because when you look at the components, the method, the ways of which cessation can be achieved, you will get to see that none of these things are in play at the moment. When you talk about the radical approach or whatever that result into conflict, are you ready to go that way? The question is no. You're not ready to go that way. When you talk about the peaceful and the political way now of achieving cessation, is that happening? It's not happening at the moment. So what exactly, how are you actually planning to succeed on this cessation? Because the fact is, if it's by propaganda, a counter-propaganda will also supersede and override that your narrative as well. Even by virtue of population, when you have counter-propaganda that is more populated than your opinion, at the end of the day, nothing. So at the end of the day, I'm not celebrating the present. I'm not saying that the present is good. But the fact is, collectively we can change this. Collectively we can change this. But as far as I'm concerned, this cessation looks like is a kind of a fanatical belief in the minds of other people that there's nothing you can tell a cessationist that there are other ways, there's another way we can actually explore and things will turn out well. Just like the way you can't tell a religious fanatic to abandon these things that he's doing that is not good. Seriously. So at the end of the day, I don't need your endorsement actually. I don't care. I'm a man that is here to make my point. You have the right to your own opinion as well. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm telling you, cessation in Nigeria today looks like nothing but a delusion. Delusion for a very long time. And in the spirit of all this, till we learn to forgive each other of all past mistakes and hold this government accountable, I am telling you nothing will happen. But rather, any government of the day will actually use and exploit our inability to come together to challenge that which is evil, and will capitalize and have a smooth ride for a very long time. I'm looking forward to a situation when you present issues, and let me tell you, when you think these conversations doesn't change anything, I am telling you, I don't want to disclose everything here, but the fact is, as little as these conversations we've been having, and kudos to the share of a lot of people that are concerned and that believe in correcting the mistakes of Nigeria, I'm telling you, a lot has been changed through this medium. And it's through this medium as well that we can use to achieve all these desires we want. But when you talk about this, it's quite it's so unfortunate actually how people get to think. So generally what I'm trying to say is, it begins with us. It begins with you. Be accountable, character-wise, be loving, be accommodating, and at the same time, be ready to kick against any evil with the last drop of your whatever. I'm telling you, and nothing more. And collectively, generally, look at what we're talking about. We're not talking about the geopolitical, we are not talking about the geographical location of Nigeria as being the problem. We're talking about people that inhabits this land. that are causing this problem. So if it's all about people, why do you think that it's not our collective coming together that will address this? Why is it so big? People just want people to feed their propaganda. And God,